An introductory video on how to start geocaching with your children. A quick overview of geocaching for those of you that may have never heard of geocaching before. Geocaching is basically a fun treasure hunt for your children. You search for hidden containers using a GPS or a smartphone, and then you share your experience with other geocachers online. The hidden containers contain treasures of sorts that your children can take with them. The containers are hidden by other fellow geocachers for you to find. You're given descriptions of where it is hidden, maybe a hint to help you and your children to find the geocache, and you're on your way. So why take your kids geocaching? The main important thing to keep in mind is that kids these days spend more time indoors than ever before. So what are they doing inside? Most of the time they're playing video games, texting, they're online, looking at Facebook or other social media websites. Each day, the average child spends about 2.5 hours listening to music, spends 5 hours watching TV or watching movies, and 3 hours playing video games or searching the internet. This accumulates to over 75 hours a week. In a week, only 6% of the children play outside on their own. So why have your kids play outside? What's so important about playing outside? Big thing is the obesity rate for children has doubled with the decrease of time spent outside in the last 20 years. Studies show that playing outside does many important things for your children. It increases their creativity, their imagination, and their attention spans, and helps children to grow lean and strong. Also, time spent outside helps the children learn about nature, which is extremely important, and it helps them to become better stewards of the environment. A coined term by Richard Love in the book that he wrote, Last Child in the Woods, is called nature deficit disorder. This is his hypothesis that children spend less time indoors, and because of this, they have negative and sometimes fearful attitudes towards nature. So where to begin? Geocaching is a fun way for kids to experience nature and learn more about it. You can learn more about geocaching from the geocaching website. The geocaching website is a fairly easy website to remember. It's just www.geocaching.com. When you go to the website, the main page looks like this. It has icons across the top. The most important one for those of you learning how to geocache, there's an actual icon that says Learn, and it says Geocaching 101. It gives you information about what geocaching is, the history of geocaching, and how to get started with your children. Once you get logged in to geocaching.com, which is free, you can go to the play icon. Notice it says hide and seek a cache. That helps you to find caches near where you live, and also helps you to hide a cache if you want to make one by yourself. You can also look at maps. You can find trackables, which are other types of geocaches as well. There's an icon for community where you can go on discussion forums. You can learn about local organizations in your area that potentially have geocaching activities. You can tell friends about the geocaching website. There's icons for shopping, for partnering, videos that you can follow in order to learn more about geocaching as well. Once you've learned about geocaching from this website, you can either buy a GPS or use a GPS that you already have, or you can get the geocaching application for a smartphone. The geocaching application is relatively cheap, and the smartphone is very easy for your children to use, as most of them have probably already used a cell phone in the past. Make sure you become a member to the geocaching website. Again, it's free, and it's the only way you're able to access the caches. So let's go try some geocaching. Let's find some local caches near where you live. All you have to do is type in your residence of where you live on the geocaching website, and it will show you all of the geocaches in your area. The geocaches have icons of little green buckets. If you've already found caches around your area, they will pop up as little yellow smiley faces. So this is a specific area where the people have already gone geocaching at a local park and have found some of the geocaches. Once you choose a park to go geocaching at, also make sure you have a trail map for the park. It's extremely important to have the trail map so that you can correlate the caches and where they might be located with the trails in the park. This is extremely important, especially if you're with young children, because finding caches can oftentimes take a long time, and you want to make sure that you take the right trail that will lead you to the cache. Some items you want to bring along with you. Make sure you bring small items to replace any items that your children may want to take from the cache. Some examples that you might want to take with: search your kids' toys, maybe some toys that they don't use anymore, some small ones like cars or coins, stickers, old trinkets. Make sure you bring a pen with, because some caches are small enough that they may not have a pen to write with. Make sure you bring food and water for the kids, because you may be out caching for several hours. And if you're in a park that has several caches to find, it would be important that your children do have food and water so you can take breaks. Make sure you also bring a backpack that will hold all of your items. Rules to go by while geocaching: make sure you stay on the trails as long as possible before cutting into the woods. Most of the caches are within a few feet from the trail, up to maybe about 100 feet from the trail. So make sure you get as close to the cache as possible before you head into the woods to look for it. Also, follow the leave no trace motto. Bring everything out that you brought in. Make sure after you've found the cache that you place it back in the exact same spot after you have found it, and hide it for the next people that want to find it next. So what does a cache look like? Where might it be hidden? They come in many shapes and sizes, and they're hidden in many creative spots. If you're out in the woods, lots of times they're at the bases of trees, maybe in fallen trees. Sometimes they're in the trees. They can be canisters that are as big as a plastic container from a home, or as small as a film canister. Sometimes caches are even found underwater if you want to go snorkeling or scuba diving. So now it's time to head out on the trails. Let's go look for some caches. Make sure when you head out geocaching that the kids use the phone or the GPS. It helps them to learn many important skills like orienteering, using a compass, and also learning the software of the program. If you have an app for your smartphone, it will look like this when you've opened it up. It'll show you your spot where you are located, and it will also show you the caches around the area that you can potentially look for. Once you've found a particular geocache and you're looking for it, this screen will pop up. It will tell you the distance to the cache. It'll also tell you your location coordinates as well as the destination coordinates of where the cache might be. It also gives you information about the cache, like the difficulty of finding the cache, the terrain, the difficulty of the terrain, which is especially important if you have young children that you're taking with. Other screens that you will find on your smartphone will look like this. This is the main screen that pops up when you're searching for geocaches. Easiest way to start looking is to hit the button that says Find Nearby Geocaches. It will tell you exactly where you're located and what caches will be around you. Once you choose a geocache to look for, your screen will look like this. It'll show your location as well as where the geocache is. It'll show you the direct path to the geocache and how far away you are. So in this case, this particular person is 471 meters away. Notice in this video, the child is staying on the path as he's looking at the phone, as he's walking closer to the geocache, making sure that he stays on the path, which is extremely important. Once the kids have found the cache on their own, it is a great feeling of accomplishment. They feel like they have found a treasure at the end of a treasure hunt. They're excited to open it and see what's inside. So we'll watch a few videos to see what it's like when children find their own geocache. In this particular video, They're within about 10 to 15 feet from the geocache. Notice the boy's holding on to the phone. He's looking around to see if he can find any type of container under the bridge, around the bridge. The girl's also looking around as well. Notice the boy's continuing to look at the phone. As they walk away from the cache, the feet will change. It'll say, it's kind of like a hot and cold type of game. As they move further away from the cache, the feet will also become further away as well. So it's easy for them to determine whether they are moving in the wrong direction. So notice he's looking at the phone again, trying to figure out potentially what direction he should head in order to find the cache. Notice the girl as well is continuing to try to look under the bridge, seeing if she can find any container that might potentially be a cache that they want to find. So in this particular video, they've actually found the cache. The boy's going to take it out from underneath the bridge, which is where it's located. Some caches are big, some are small. This is more of a medium-sized cache. Notice the cacher that hid it camouflaged it. Makes it a little bit more difficult for the people to find as well. And then they can open it up and log that they were there and check to see if there's any treasures that they want to take with them. Here's a video of the two of them looking for a cache in a different particular spot. This cache is on the side of a hill, hidden in a rock. So notice the girl will take the rock out and she'll find the tiny little cache, which in this case is a film canister. And when she opens it up, notice it's small enough it will not have a pen in it, which is important that you have a pen with you so that you can log in it. All of the logbooks are enclosed in plastic so that they can make sure that they are sealed from the environment. And she'll take it out and then she'll write in there that they found it. This particular cache that they're going to be finding is in a unique location. As they look around for the cache, notice the girl has the phone this time and she just found the cache. It's located in a branch of a tree. This is another small cache, kind of a unique place. Just an example, not all caches are found on the ground. Sometimes you have to look up in order to find them. Okay, so you've had some fun finding caches that other people have hidden. Another fun thing that you can do with your children is you can have them make their own cache and hide it in their own special place. Having the children create their own cache and hiding it is just as much fun as finding hidden caches. What you need is a durable, weatherproof container. An easy, cheap one that is used very often is just a cleaned out peanut butter jar. Make sure you have a logbook and a pen, as well as a plastic bag to put those in so that they don't get wet, and then trinkets to place in the cache. Find a place to hide the cache, but make sure if you're going to be hiding it in a park that you ask for permission. Also, if you're going to be hiding it on private land as well. So hiding your cache. Once you've made your cache and you've obtained permission to hide it, you want to head out and look for a unique and fun spot to hide it. Allow the kids to find the spot. It makes it much more fun for them. So here are a few videos of the children finding a spot for their special cache. Again, once you're in the park, you want to make sure you start at a particular spot on a trail that you find interesting. And from that point, you want to move off the trail in order to search for a place to hide your cache. Look for a unique spot. Lots of places that people hide their caches in are downed trees or holes in trees, tree branches, maybe in holes in the ground, underneath some rocks. This particular spot, the children wanted the person that found a cache to have a view of the lake. So that's why they chose this. Make sure you don't go too close to water. As well, you want to make sure that the cache does maintain its durability and doesn't get exposed to the weather. So in this video, the children have found a site that they think is pretty interesting. It's at the base of a downed tree in the roots. They're pretty excited about it. It's got a nice hole, a place where the cache can be protected and can be well hidden, but also is a relatively easy place for other cachers to be able to find as well. Okay, so final steps for your cache. Make sure to hide it enough that it's not out in the open. Make it a little difficult for others to find. You don't want people that don't know about geocaching to find this particular item because they may take it out. They may, try and be good stewards of the environment and say, hey, we're going to take it out, we're going to throw it away. You also, and these types of people to the geocaching community are known as muggles. So if you ever see that word when you're looking at the geocaching website, that refers to people that do not know about geocaches and that potentially could take it, and then therefore you would have to replace it. You want to make sure you go to the geocaching website to register your cache so that others can find it as well. You can make a description with it, give your own hints, maybe make a little story behind it. Fellow geocachers like looking for geocaches that have stories behind them. It makes it a little bit more interesting. And then you can wait for other geocaches to find your particular geocache and log their visits to your own geocache. Geocaching is not allowed in national parks. So what they have done is created a form of geocaching called earth caching. The main reason why national parks do not allow geocaching is because they have policies that are against you leaving any containers behind. So instead of finding a container, what you're doing is you're searching for landmarks and you're learning about information about the Earth or about Earth's geology and how it was formed. These are found on the geocaching site just like other caches. They just have a different icon that tells you that it is an earth cache instead of a geocache. So these particular children went to Shenandoah National Park. If you look at the image to the left, this is a path at the park that leads to several earth caches that a particular person put in place with regards to the mountain that they would be hiking up. If you look at the image to the right, they are actually standing at a spot of an earth cache. And what the earth cache tells them to do is to look up at the mountain that the boy is pointing at. The mountain is called Little Stony Man Mountain. And Connor is pointing out the mountain to Aiden at the particular earth cache. And if you read the earth cache description, it talks about how the mountain was formed through volcanic lava flows when Shenandoah National Park was being formed. So this is the final ending to the intro to geocaching for children. Most importantly, go out, have some fun, and enjoy a fun outdoor activity for the family and for the children that is good exercise and learns about nature.